When the sapling branches in the wrong direction, sever the limb, or support it with string to grow in a new direction. If you are determined to bury them, dig a hole shallow to nourish growing things. Plant a garden to help them flourish, not a grave to simply forget. Often I find myself wandering between tombstones. Sometimes I think it to be true that the only way I could grow into something new is to be planted in the earth. My soul would rise as a stone, strong without fear, my thoughts just a marking on the earth. For some to be reminded that I ever walked here, forever an emblem scrawled with just my name. Each stone and a cross, a memorial to someone's stolen identity. No one would ever remember anything bad about me, just the recycled letters forming the words of my claim to fame, a date to timeline my life and death, my name. Some days I wonder why the young so often cease to exist, why the old mouths water for their own demise, when the earth is full of songs, music, fills sunset skies, but yet many of us so impatiently wait for death's arrival. And many of us wait for death's arrival because we have been left, because we have been buried already by those who loved us. Our mothers buried their babies in the backyard. Our companions deserted us out of the coldness of their hearts. We are mistakes, outcasts, set apart. We don't choose this fate, to be thinking of death all the time, to awake crying, to lash out, to invert our hurt. There's a reason some trees die and others live. It's nature's way of weeding out the weak. The flawed give up the fight, their insides rot and die. The strong survive and reproduce stronger offspring. It's the way of the world. So if you've wondered, this is why. Many times we could have been built, made strong, but no one could take the time or knew how to prune our branches just right. So some of us took to the pruning our own limbs in an attempt to purge ourselves of the parts we don't like. In the beginning, it would have been easy. Only needed a gentle touch, a trunk supported when we grew weak, a limb tied up with string when it began to grow awry, but instead we are chopped down, burnt, or buried, sometimes left to die. So if you've determined to bury us, dig a hole shallow enough to nourish growing things. Plant a garden to help us flourish, not a grave to simply forget. Some plants can be grown from the branches of their original source, clipped off from the weak trunk, replanted at the wound, tended and grown, cared for and loved, until we can make ourselves new.